This is McLaren International, arguably the richest of all the Grand Prix teams. With its lucrative sponsorship deals and partnerships with some of the world's greatest engine manufacturers, McLaren International is the most successful Grand Prix team of the modern era. The bill for a season racing two McLarens is between $30 and $40 million, but not everybody has the financial backing that McLaren enjoys. For the smaller teams, trying to pay the bills and keeping pace with all the changes is an almost impossible task. Nick Worth ran Simtek Racing and knows all too well how expensive it can be.
Well, the first thing you need for a Formula One team is a car. Typically the first car tends to cost about £1 million for a small team to create. And then the other subsequent cars and parts of the season probably cost another £1 million. You then need an engine to make the car go. And a customer engine deal in Formula One is around £2 million, depending on what sort of deal you do and what company you're dealing with. You then have to look at your tyres for the season, which is probably £500,000 worth of tyres. Air freight and travel, which costs a fortune because it's a world championship in travelling around the world. That's probably going to cost you another £500,000 to £750,000. You're going to need fuel, which is probably going to cost you £200,000. Drivers, oil, trucks, motorhomes, personnel, salaries, buildings. It goes on and on and on. So you end up spending, for a sensible first season, you're probably going to end up spending £6 or £7 million as an absolute minimum.
Each season, the teams reveal their new cars. In 1995, following the deaths of Ratzenberger and Senna, they were forced to incorporate a number of costly technical changes designed to slow the cars down and make them safer. Lowering the rear wings was designed to take them out of the airflow and make them less effective by reducing the ground force. Larger side pods were introduced to protect the drivers. Such changes could have saved Ratzenberger and Senna. And the noses of the cars were stretched to get the driver's feet further away from any impact. Most importantly, the engine's capacities were reduced from 3.5 to 3 litres. But like so often in the past, manufacturers didn't waste any time playing catch-up, and the design departments positively relished the challenge. By the middle of the season, the 3-litre Peugeot V10 in the Jordan F1 car was producing as much power as the 3.5-litre version had done at the start of the year.
To begin with, there will be less power, but the engine people have a habit of finding it again pretty quickly.
We've gone for just 2 pedals, a brake pedal and a throttle, because we don't want the driver to take his foot off the throttle at all. If he can slow the car down just with the left foot using the brake, clutches on the steering wheel. So in other words, he's keeping the momentum and he's keeping the revolutions of the engine up at a high level. So in other words, there's never a lag. And we feel that this can be a benefit to the drivers. It's also going to be quicker.
Indeed, the only area in which the cars did seem to go backwards was in the very area the changes were supposed to improve: safety.
It is a bit safer. You're not getting into the high-speed corners at just the same speed. So if something breaks, you've more chance at 170 mile an hour than you do at 180. Although there's probably not a lot of difference. I'd rather hit something at 170 than 180.
I can make no comment till it has its first accident, and we'll all stand around and see if it was stronger than last year's car or not. I believe it is very much so.
Inevitably, with further regulations in the pipeline, the smaller teams are increasingly threatened with financial ruin. The question has to be asked, what price safety?